Primal Carnage has been one of the few games that I've really wanted to play for a long time. And after searching and searching, and as I got older, I realized what Stream was, or Steam, but it just never really was for me in general. But today we're going to see if this verse can survive 5 different creatures. Now, we're going to be dropping one species of these creatures into the entire verse, all right? One of them. And it's going to be dinosaurs and hunters or mercenaries simply going after them. But now let's talk about the scaling a little bit, right? Now, these dinosaurs are much bigger and much stronger than their original species. But with some of them, it's kind of obvious that they're not, well, I guess you could say specific dinosaurs, but these dinosaurs actually get around the small building level, considering the sheer fact that we've actually scaled T-Rex's bite as being able to literally crush a car. Yeah, which actually gets to small building level when it comes to attack points. Oh, he's scaling realistic dinosaurs. Look, map's already there. Ain't no use in trying to, act like it's not. Feel me? So, with that being said, all these dinosaurs would scale to the T-Rex, and with the T-Rex obviously being weaker than its Primal Carnage counterpart, I think it's safe to say that these monsters will also scale to building level, or dinosaurs, excuse me. And keep in mind, these guys can also take grenades, which are also known to blow up cars and stuff like that. So with that being said, we're going to be ranking these monsters from from least threatening to most threatening. So without further ado, please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock. Now let's start off with the first monster. Now, the first one should actually be pretty simple. It's Jurassic Park's Spinosaurus. Yeah, the crash out of the entire Jurassic Park franchise. Probably just as much as a crash out as the Indominus Rex, if not slightly lesser. But let's talk about this, right? The Spinosaurus easily gets to building level. I don't think anyone should really care about the scientific inaccuracies, because again, from the very beginning of Jurassic Park, it was literally stated they have to fill in gaps in the genomes, and they were experimenting on the creature's DNA just to get them to where they are today. So it's obvious that these dinosaurs are not, paleo accurate at all. So with that being said here, it's very easy to get the Spinosaurus to building level. Not only is it able to basically dominate Sorna, meaning that it should be above Buck, who has a small building level feat of being able to pretty much nudge a bus, and just like casually did that. And keep in mind, Bull was on drugs. Yeah, we also have the Spinosaurus being able to burst through a dinosaur, an anti-dinosaur gate. Now, yes, rusted and worn out, but still a very valuable feat, excuse me. And he's also known to be an extinction level threat, meaning he's able to take out sauropods like Brachiosaurus, and possibly even much bigger ones as well, like the Dreadnoughtus, if possible. So with that being said, Spinosaurus should easily be building level, and in terms of speed, obviously subsonic to possibly even, well, hypersonic's very questionable, because again, Quetzalcoatlus has been able to keep up with planes and stuff like that, but we really don't know if any other pterosaur could really keep up with something that much. So Spinosaurus should definitely be around these subsonic margins. So with that being said, we're going to put this in one of the few arenas, that being the docks. And from what I've seen from the docks, it's actually a well-rounded arena. The towers, the buildings, the water, and stuff like that. And I actually do wonder, it just looks perfect for, the whole Primal Carnage setting and stuff like that. Let me know if I'm actually wrong about this here being a actual Primal Carnage map. It looks like the one I've seen from the gameplay, but I could also be wrong. But side note, why have they never done like an aquatic based Primal Carnage game? Like, I think that would have actually been amazing, Imagine playing as, aquatic-based creatures, Mosasaurus, Chronosaurus, Plesiosaurus, Dunkleosteus, maybe even, like, the likes of, Megalodon and Leviathan, maybe Basilosaurus as well, and just playing as those kind of creatures. I think that would have been great, being able to play as them and eat other players. You could probably have the players be like mercenaries, having like scuba gear and stuff like that. If their scuba gear gets ruptured at a certain depth, they start losing oxygen faster. It could have been a very great experience overall. But let's talk about it, right? The Spinosaurus gets into the arena and has to fight all the mercenaries and dinosaurs, plus, obviously, survive as well. Believe it or not, I think the mercenaries can possibly damage the Spinosaurus. They do have some decent caliber rounds to harm the likes of the, much bigger and stronger dinosaurs of the Primal Carnage franchise. And again, I'm saying stronger dinosaurs than paleo-accurate dinosaurs. But when it really comes down to like the dinosaur on dinosaur combat, I think the Spinosaurus is just going to be flat out overwhelming these dinosaurs entirely. It's stronger, it's more durable, and it just has a lot more combat-based experience, especially with the others. The smaller predators are getting swatted away like absolute flies, but then you have the Spinosaurus, T-Rex, and the Acrocanthosaurus, which are going to be problems for about maybe a minute or two before the Spinosaurus is just like, oh, so you're just, a much bigger T-Rex, so I'm just going to snap your neck. Like he did the bull, unfortunately. And to be kind of honest, the fact that it can take a bite from a Tyrannosaurus and just, shrug it off because of its more enhanced biology and muscles, because the Spinosaurus is also confirmed to be one of the first few hybrids to actually exist or being seen on the Jurassic Park. But I would probably say it's more of an enhanced dinosaur than a hybrid, but it is what it is. Because again, it's more like a dinosaur super soldier than anything. But overall, I do think the Spinosaurus would likely dominate the area and definitely kill all the mercenaries and dominate the dinosaurs in the area. Now let's move on. Next up, we have Anjanath. Yeah, I think we could probably just end this video here, because if this one is, scarier than the Spinosaurus, I wonder what the other ones are gonna do. Oh wait, I actually know. Well, let's actually talk about this, right? So, yeah, Anjanath. The original bane of Monster Hunter World, but then relegated to, oh yeah, you and me still gotta go a couple rounds because I still need a piece of you type of monster, right? And again, I was happy that Fulgur Anjanath did return in Wilds, because again, I did need that maximum might ability. It's one of my favorite abilities, and I just feel, super comfortable with it. But the fact that Anjanath is not only able to dominate much heavier monsters, but being able to literally power slam armored monsters like Barroth, albeit that one is a bit contentious in my opinion. I feel like Barroth should be able to actually hang with Anjanath a lot more, albeit Anjanath is definitely a lot more smarter as well. But it's also able to take attacks from apex monsters like Diablos and, well, Tigrex, and even being able to survive against Rathalos. However, I do not agree with these turf wars at all. Diablos is just vastly superior to Anjanath and should be able to kill it very easily. And the fact that Rathian dominates it, where we know Diablos literally burrows beneath Rathian and then just flings her, so it just says a lot about how we really got to start thinking as these turf wars, and some of them as, official, and some of them as game mechanics. But let's actually talk about it, right? We're going to put this in the, I think, the military base, because the area is actually pretty suitable for Anjanath. It's got the forest-like area, and it's even got its own, I guess you could say citadel-like area with the, with the military base and stuff like that. Now, I think we all got to remember, Anjanath is not only stronger, but he is a literal fire-breathing Tyrannosaurus Rex. But this only happens if he's pissed off. Now, let's just be real. Anjanath is going to eat, both figuratively and literally. The smaller raptors, like Oviraptor, Novaraptor, and I think Utahraptor and Deinonychus, are getting eaten. Then you have the medium-sized predators like Carnotaurus and Ceratosaurus. They're the bird wyverns of the group. They're the great Roggies and the Kulayakus of the group here. They have no possible way to, really engage with Anjanath here. And the irony of it is, I don't even know why some of these monsters even kind of stay in the view of Anjanath. Like, if I saw Anjanath and I was like a great Roggy or a Kulayaku, I'm out. Ain't no fight. There ain't no turf war. That's predation. The only one that literally could have had a chance was Tetranodon, and we saw Anjanath quickly getting around the neck where it barely could do anything but try to use its weight to hold it down, and that failed. So believe it or not, yeah, these guys are getting killed likely with the bite to the neck, and he's gonna look at it like, oh, well, that was easy. Shoot, I thought they would last longer. And even with the bigger ones like Acrocanthosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, and Spinosaurus, what are they gonna do? You might be like, oh, they have bone-crushing jaws. So does a large majority of the monsters in Monster Hunter. And that still doesn't matter to them. Let's also not forget the little stamina in these monsters. Now, while, yes, you might say, oh, well, the hunters can wear them down. Our hunters are literally built differently and trained for this kind of nonsense. These mercenaries are not. They're getting incinerated, and their guns are doing nothing to Anjanath. Now, on to the third monster. Now, introducing one of the few newer monsters to the channel, and one that will also be getting its survival video, as apparently these are really being requested. So I will be doing one for the Slaghorns and the Corpse Eater as well. So yeah, Wolvers will be first, then the Slaghorns, then the Corpse Eater, as God of War creatures do actually deserve to be in some of these videos, and I never really took the time to realize that. I apologize. So with that being said here, Wolvers. Yeah, I think the only saving grace is that they'll actually operate like normal animals. And I'm not even joking. But let me tell you guys something real quick. Or let's just ask this. If these guys can take hits from Kratos and are generally considered some of the most difficult lower tiers in the game, or mid tiers, I would definitely say. I think they're just like, in my opinion, when it comes to difficulty, they're like tied with the Dreki on hard mode and the, whatchamacallit, the obviously the Slaghorns or the ground drakes and stuff like that for third. So, you know, for first and stuff like that. So with that being said, even if we put them in the area, and if I just put one in the area, it's gonna dominate. It's gonna be literally the boogeyman or the Grim Reaper of the arena. Like, imagine being around that thing at night, or in one of the winter modded maps as well, right? Or some of the, I think there's even like a tropical coast one, which is supposed to be like very impressive as well. But yeah, the Wolver's gonna dominate left and right like it's absolutely nothing. Now let's move on. Okay, now really thinking about it, this may have been a step too far, but he needs to be on the channel at some point. Rahidosaurus, everybody. Woo! But, yeah, they're dealing with a 40-foot tall original Godzilla. Yes, I said it. Godzilla owes his existence to Rahidosaurus. No Rahidosaurus would have meant no Godzilla, and no Gamera either. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, okay, you know, I know you guys are probably going to find my house after this, right? I'm so sorry. But at the same time, I'm kind of not. So basically, Rahidosaurus is going to eat, both figuratively and literally. Keep in mind that if they are able to somehow, and I mean this in every literal way, somehow pierce its hide, okay, they are going to get exposed to poison toxins. And even then, that's supposed to be difficult. Keep in mind, he's been able to go toe-to-toe with Paleosaurus in Crossverse comics, which is, and, you know, Paleosaurus is around, like, city level, I believe. So, with that being said here, it ain't looking good, really. It really isn't looking good, in my opinion, because it's a 40-foot, incredibly durable, hungry, and poison-blooded creature that can topple buildings like it's absolutely nothing. So, yeah, who's going to be Rahidosaurus' first dish? Because he doesn't mind eating people. He doesn't mind eating the dinosaurs. Matter of fact, he would actually be pretty interesting to see how he would survive in, like, the Mesozoic. Considering he did, you know, kind of get cryogenically frozen, it's very possible that he was an evolved species of, well, I know he's a plesiosaur, but for being out that long, he feels like he could have been a Megalania, doesn't it? But that's going to be all for him. But let's move on to the last one. Now, the last one, you guys already know I had to put one of them here. And believe it or not, maybe Wraith would have been scarier, but I think Goliath kind of just fits that in my opinion. Wraith is more stealthier, but imagine a brute-like creature that can literally just fall back on intelligence, traps, or at least making its own creative traps, right? Because the funny thing about Goliath is that, yeah, it's brute force. He is naturally strong. And keep in mind that if you guys watch my Godzilla -1 versus Goliath video, you guys will get the scaling for that. But keep in mind, he's going to target the mercenaries first. Yeah, the entire lore of Evolve is that these monsters do not like humans on their planet and will kill and eat them. Like, they've literally tore through entire civilizations on their planet that were dominated by humans. And they ate them as well. So, yeah, they're going to be the first ones targeted. And then the dinosaurs. Oh, the Goliath can even register them as either alpha or apex creatures, or, you know, creatures of like higher calibers or higher protein value and stuff like that, and just flat out eat them. Like, it would just be vastly, it wouldn't be, I don't even think it would be that nutritious to them, to be honest, because again, the creatures in Evolve don't actually provide a lot more for them than just meat and bones. They can actually give out certain abilities like health regeneration. They can even consume plant matter to regain a large portion of their health if needed. So believe it or not, Goliath would not only be the scariest one here, because again, imagine the mercenaries literally trying to, you know, attack and hunt them, but he's literally adapting and reading them like a book. And the funny part about it is here, he could easily ambush them. Imagine him getting away from them in like the jungle like environments or some of the coastal beach like areas and stuff like that, right? He would be a nightmare for them. But if I really had to rank these guys the way they are, I think this list is pretty accurate. But could Primal Carnage survive these monsters? No, not at all. The only one I think they can survive is the Wolver, because he is the most animalistic of the group, second to Anjanath. So with that being said, you guys, be sure to comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. And the next one we'll be doing is Bigfoot. Yeah, the Steam game. Peace.